a nice look at one of the most beautiful paddocks in the country with the iconic trees right here at Delaware Park, as today, one of our biggest days of the meet. It's the 86th running of the Grade 2 Delaware Handicap, 500,000 for filly and mares, going a mile and 3/16 this year. Here's the temperatures today, 84 degrees right now, winds east at 2 miles per hour. We'll have a fast main track, and we're on the turf today. Races 2, 4, 6, and 8 are on the turf. Turf rated soft as we start today. Good to be with you once again. We had a fun show last Saturday for Delaware Oaks, and looking for another big day today with our marquee race, the Grade 2 Del Cap.
Yes, indeed, Stan. And of course, Stan had some great interviews with Robert Reed Jr. on Morning Matcha. We'll touch on that, of course, on the big race. Stan and I were actually discussing the turf course before we went live, and it is definitely soft. So, Stan, maybe my handicapping went to horses towards the lead, but these are some bigger and feistier foes today, so we'll see what happens on our 10-race card.
All right, good stuff. Well, let's get right to it here. Race 1. Let's check out race 1. Race 1's a nice maiden, claiming 25,000 for 2-year-old fillies, going 5 furlongs, and looks like your favorite here is going to be the Brittany Russell first-time starter, number 6, with Jevion Toledo aboard. Race 1 kicks off the popular early pick 5 with that low 15% takeout. I have a ticket for today's early pick 5. It's a $54 play. I go 3 deep here in the opener, the 6, and I also like the 7 here for trainer Tony Pecoraro, and I like the Ricky Silliman first-time starter, the 8, 99 carats. So 6, 7, 8 here in race 1. Race 2, I go with the 1, 6, 7. That's a wide open maiden 16 going long on the turf for filly and mares. I hope I have enough coverage there with the 1, 6, 7 in race 2. The 7's my top pick in the second. Race 3, I have the 1, 4, 6. Race 4, we're back on the turf, maiden 16. I'm 4 deep there with the 2, 5, 11, 12. Maybe I can get a price home with the 2, J. Lee, who's first-time Lasix for Carrie Bryan. Then race 5, the Dashing Beauty, going 6 furlongs for filly and mares, $100,000 stake. I key on the 9, Shatira, looking for back-to-back stake victories for trainer Ignacio Correa. So there's my early pick 5 ticket. Let's check out race 1. We're going 5 furlongs, maiden 25,000 for 2-year-old fillies. Scratch the 1 and the 3. I end up on the 6, a first-time starter from Brittany Russell's barn. She's about 22% with her first-time starters. This filly's by More Than Ready. She has a big work tab here at Delaware. She's been working since the gates opened earlier this spring. A couple gate works on the work tab. I like that. And she gets Jevion Toledo, who's in town today to ride her Grade 1 winner, Doppelganger, later on in the Battery Park. So I have the 6 on top here in the opener.
And so do I. I thought the 8 horse looked interesting, 99 carats. I love the last couple of workouts, Stan, but I do not like the trainer stats. Richard Sullivan's running at 18% in 2023, but Stan, he has yet to win with 2-year-olds this particular meet.
All right, you get Raul Mena on the 8, so we both have a cold 6, 8, 7 trifecta here in race 1. Let's turn the page here. Race 2 kicks off the early pick 4. We're on the turf here for the second race. Maiden 16,000. Filly and mares going a mile and 70 yards on the turf. The favorite here, the 6, My Jojo, at 7-2. The 1, Satisfied, at 3-1. Let's check out your early pick 4 ticket, Josh. See how you played it.
So the pick 4 ticket I have is coming up on your TV monitors now. It's going to be a $25 play. I thought this race was between the 1 and 6 on paper, even though they're maidens on the turf. I really like Satisfied in this spot, who likes to close from the back of the pack. So 1, 6 in race number 2. The third race, it was such a tough race, even with the key scratch of the 5 Brooklyn guy. Went all. The 4th race Stan alluded to, it is a tough race. I like how Stan touched on the 2. That's why I threw the 2 in there. First-time Lasix, this horse has always been bet. Jay Lee, I'm 5 deep. And I think Stan and I both agree that the 9 horse in the 5th race today is absolutely the one to beat in the Dashing Beauty. Again, it's not a bad ticket, Stan. It's only $25.
All right, hopefully you get a nice price home there in race 4. Let's check out the second here. Maiden 16 for filly and mares, long on the turf, rated soft, and the 1, Satisfied for Ferris Allen's going to be the favorite in here with John Avello aboard this 4-year-old filly. She's 0 for 12, big second last time, coming off the layoff behind the next out winner. Yeah, I pick her second once again here today because she gives herself a lot to do. She's just falls far back. She always comes with a late run. She's going to be a major factor in the final strides, but can she get there in time? That's always the question with the 1, Satisfied. I think she's the best filly in the race. I think she'll run a big race, but she might get beat because she's always far back turning for home.
And that is a key race angle. The horse lost to last time, came back to win its next start. If you look at your past performances, the one horse on this kind of turf today cannot sit 20, 30 lengths back, Stan. So if the horse is close, and it is a very soft group, Stan likes the one. I don't disagree. I also like number 6, My JoJo. I think this horse could also have the ability, but again, that horse sits from a mile back. And again, Chelsea Moisley, she's on fire, but she's also 0 for 16 on the turf.
All right, we have the same 4 horses here. I put the 7 on top, Rebel Consort. Ran a nice turf race down there at Tampa. That was late March. She's had a couple months off since then. The Victor Carrasco Jr. barn with a couple wins and a decent half-mile work, 50-2 July 1st. So if the 7's ready to go, she'll be a factor here in race 2. We like the same 4 runners there in the second. Let's turn the page here. Race 3. We're going 1.70 miles on the main track, claiming $16,000 for 3-year-olds or 4 and up. Never won 2. There's the field. The favorite, the 2 Orakovics, is 5-2 from the Rudy Sanchez Solomon barn. Let's check out the third here, see how you played it. I have the 1 on top. Caranos, I think, is going in the right direction. You have the 1 on top as well. Yeah, Chucky Lawrence, I saw him earlier today. He likes this horse in the 6th race. I told him I like this horse here in the 3rd. Nice win last out with Jeremy Rose to break his maiden. I think the confidence is high now on Caranos. I think he's going in the right direction. I don't like the favorites in here at all, the 2 or the 3. The 5 Brooklyn guy is a big scratch, so I have the 1 Caranos on top, looking for back-to-back wins with Jeremy Rose.
And I'll tell you, if the race gets upset in terms of the 1 not winning the race, I really like the 4. That was then, this is now. However, if you look at the history box for this horse, Stan, this horse loves to run second, has had 6 second-place finishes. This could run 1-4 all day long.
All right, so we both have a cold 1-4 exacta for you there in the 3rd. Let's turn the page. Race 4, we're back on the turf. Big field here, going 1.70 miles. Maiden 16,000. Filly mares 3 and up. This race kicks off the late pick 5. Late pick 5 starts in race 4. Josh, you have a ticket for it. Let's check it out and see how you played it.
Yeah, this race I put together a late pick 5 ticket here. It's a $50 bill, and in this race here, just like in the pick 4 we were talking about, I went 2, 5, 8, 11, 12, and of course Stan and I really like the 9 in race 5. I thought the 6th race came up a little tough. I went 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7 in race 6. Stan, the 7th race of the day, we only have 3 horses now with 5 scratches. I'm going to go with the 3 Doppelganger. I think the horse is just the class of the race. If that result does hit, I'm 4 deep with the 5, 6, 7, and 8. And ironically, I have 2 hurdle horses in that 8th race, which could be a wide open event.
All right, so there you go. Middle pick 4. I'm sorry, late pick 5. Late pick 5 starts here in the 4th race. Let's check it out here. I have the 5 on top, Bring the Magic. So do you, Angel Arroyo. In the top 5 leading riders here, he has 10 wins at the meet. He rides this filly by Good Magic for trainer Tim Woolley, and she's getting a big class relief today. Last time she was on the turf was opening day here at Delaware against Maiden Special Weight Company going long on the turf, and she ran just okay. That was probably too tough a race for her, but she got a 56 Beyer speed figure. And she's had 3 route races in this current form cycle, so she should be dead fit, and she gets a nice class relief today.
Yeah, and I forgave that last race, Dan. The horse lost by 20, but was on dirt.
Right.
Now we're back to turf. Again, you really can't compare the 2 from the way I handicap. I look at turf races only. I look at dirt races only. Synthetic, the jury's still out, even though it's been a long time since we've had that into the handicapping mix. I thought the 8 was interesting. Bessie Blue, I got this horse in for second, was 20-1 last time out, but those races down at Laurel this time last year was running Beyer speed figure stands in the mid-50s.
And Angel Cruz having a good meet, hitting at 21%, 4 wins from a limited amount of starters. So, all right, I overlooked the 8 a little bit there in race 4. Who else do I like? The 12's going to be the favorite. Peace Fire ran a nice race last time for Ricky Silliman. Raul Mina will ride today. Just, I hope Peace Fire doesn't get parked 6-7 wide on that first clubhouse turn.
Raul Mena is clicking at 16% here, and of course we do have some scratches. Of course, one of the horses that are not scratched yet is the 9. It's entered for the main track only. So Stan, at least you'll go 1 barrier over if the horse gets scratched. I like the 12 too because of the fact that last time the horse closed from out of nowhere, but if you look at his lines 4 starts ago at Tampa, the horse can be on the lead. And if the course is really soft, maybe Raul sends this horse a little closer today.
All right, so we both like the 12 Peace Fire. See if that filly by Frisian Fire can overcome her outside post position. Let's turn the page here. Race 5 is the $100,000 Dashing Beauty for filly and mares 3 and up, going 6 furlongs. We've had some scratches in here. Scratch to 3, juror number 4. The 4 Scarlet Stripe is out, and also the 6 Late Frost is out. The favorite in here is going to be on the outside, the 9 Chatira, 7-2 for trainer Ignacio Correas. Race 5 kicks off a middle pick 4. Let's check out my middle pick 4 ticket, see how I played it. A $31.50 play. I go 3 deep here in the Dashing Beauty. I like the 9 Chatira on top, but the 10 Mishra Shara is a real nice 3-year-old filly for Diane Marisi, and the 8 Malibu Beauty, the 5-year-old mare who's made over $500,000, coming off the layoff for Gary Capuano. So 8, 9, 10 there in race 5. Race 6, a wide open maiden special weight, long on the turf for filly and mares. I'm 7 deep in there. The 8 Compass Rises, I heard, is doing well for trainer Chucky Lawrence, coming off the layoff, so she'd be a nice big price there in race 6. Race 7, the Battery Park. I use all 3 in there. They're nice horses. Doppelganger, Forewarned, Riding with Biden with Paco Lopez. I have Riding with Biden on top in the Battery Park. Race 8, just 3 deep there with the 3, 5, 7. Race 7, I'm just 3 deep there with the 3, 5, 7. Then race 8, I single on the 5 there, Prowling Tiger from the Arnaud Delacour barn. Daniel Centeno on the 5, Prowling Tiger there in race 8. Let's check out race 5. We have a video on Chatira. She's going to be the favorite here. Here's her last race in the $100,000 ski pack. You see her way out there, turning for home. There she is, far wide. She's about 6 wide, turning for home, but she gets up in the final strides. Also in this race here, I'm the Boss of Me was the 3 in here. I'm the Boss of Me was a good 3rd in this race, but here comes Chatira on the far outside, making up a lot of ground. This is a strong finish, and if there's a fast early pace in the Dashing Beauty today, which appears that there could be a lot of early speed in here, I think it sets it up nice for a closer like Chatira. The barn, Ignacio Correas, in stake races from a good amount of sample, he's 30% with a nice positive ROI.
And you know, the thing with the 9-horse 2 stand is there's at least 3 or 4 of the horses that want the early lead. The 7's going to gun it, so is the 8, so is the 10. The 10-horse ran a lights-out race last time out, ran an 88 buyer. I'm worried about regression, even the horse won by 8 3/4 lengths. It's a little tougher contest here today, but you know what? Chatar in the last 6 races was in the Grade 2 Gallant Bob. I think the horse has the class edge, and as long stand as this horse can repeat any one of those last 2 races, it's going to be steaming home late.
All right, so we both have Chatira on top. The 8 Malibu Beauty coming off the layoff. The barn's about 19% in positive ROI. Gary Capuano hitting at 44% this meet. So Malibu Beauty is going to be tough with Jamie Rodriguez. And yeah, the 10 Miss Boucher ran a big number last time. She probably didn't beat much, but she did it impressively. Won by 8 1/4. So I think she'll benefit with that outside post, so she can kind of look in and dictate the early pace. If they're going slow, she can clear and get to the front. If they're going fast, and Miss Boucher might get a real nice stalking trip on the outside.
You know, the 2 horse was interesting. Alva Star, this is another horse that's going to add fuel to that early fire. But Stan, the last 2 races, those horses were racing, debuted here at Delaware in the slot, broke its maiden, was at Oakland, then Churchill. The horse keeps improving. Again, I think there's going to be a pace battle, and it's almost going to be like a game of chess for these jockeys. And I'm really hoping Vincent on the 9 can see all this unfold and just lurk right behind at the top of the stretch.
All right, so 7 filly and mares in a $100,000 Dashing Beauty. That kicks off at pick 4. Let's get a quick commercial break. When we come back, a nice big field in race 6, and then race 7 and 9 are stake races. We'll talk about that right after this. All right, welcome back. Here's the field for race 6, a nice maiden special weight for filly and mares 3 and up, going a mile and the 16th on a soft turf course. The favorite, the 2 Sunbee for trainer Graham Motion and Calumet Farm. She's made $50,000 as a maiden already, 5 seconds from 7 starts. Can she break her maiden today? Let's check out the field. Scratch to 1, Blonde Samaritan in this race, and Sunbee's going to be tough. She'll get a nice ground saving trip on the inside today with Michael Sanchez aboard for Graham Motion. She was a real big second last time behind Tufani, who came right back to win. Now she was been the beaten favorite the last 2 starts, one at Tampa, one here at Delaware. She's going to be the favorite once again today for strong connection. She's a closer. Can she get there in time today? That's the big question. I pick her 3rd in this spot.
Yeah, this is another horse, just like we were discussing a couple of races before. This horse has had 7 starts, Stan, 5 second-place finishes, lost by a nose, lost by a head. The horse has just burned way too much win money, 3 to 5 last time out, even money today, all day long based on figures. I just need to see her pass a horse right when the finish line looms.
All right, so we both use her in our picks. We don't pick her on top. You have the 3 on top. I might have overlooked this Christophe Clement filly by Medaglia d'Oro, a homebred for these people, but they had to ship down to Prescott for the debut. She's by a $100,000 sire. They couldn't run up in New York for the debut.
It's interesting because maybe they thought the waters were a little softer at Presque Isle, and of course I was the announcer at Presque Isle in 2019. Maybe this was kind of like a prep race. The horse was 10 to 1, but it exits a key race where Honey Holler came back to win its next start. I like the fact that she likes to close late in that particular race, but again, just like I mentioned earlier, synthetic to turf. That's a different little angle here. Is the horse bred for the soft going? There's a lot of unknowns. I'm taking a stab in a wide open race with the 3 on top.
And she's out of a Giants Causeway mare, so she should like the turf for Clement. So I didn't use the 3. I have the 6 on top here. Heckled was a real big second behind her stablemate last out. Sal's Blue Jacket went out there and got in front by 10 and has kept on going coming off the layoff. But Heckled was a good second. It's a nice homebred for Godolphin by Hard Spun for Michael Stidham. The barn's doing well. They take the blinkers off today. Florent Giroux will ride. She's going to be part of the early pace. Maybe goes right to the front today.
And you know what? If the turf course is suiting front runners, I think Heckled should be right there. Another horse that kind of tends to hang in the lane, but not as bad as the 2. The horse that I overlooked until this morning was the 5 Watt Symphony. Look at that, Stan. OBS sale in March of 2022. This horse cost $525,000, and New York-based jockey Kendrick Carmouche comes in to ride.
And we know Eddie Graham can get the job done. He won the Arlington Million a few years back, so a good barn here with the 5 What a Symphony I use in my picks. I have the 8 Compass Rises in my exact. Chucky Lawrence said this morning this filly's doing well. She had a useful second last October against Maiden Special Weight on the synthetic at Presque Isle. Just don't worry about the 5 furlong turf sprint at Indiana. She didn't break very well that day, and then it was all over. But Chucky said she's doing well. A couple nice 5 furlong workouts at Fair Hill. And synthetic to turf, Chucky Lawrence recently, he's 50% from a 4-horse sample with a positive ROI. He's a solid 22% with a positive ROI in maiden special weight races. So the 8 Compass Rises might be ready to roll here off the layoff.
Yeah, this is a race that you really have to spread if you're playing those exotic tickets in terms of pick 3s, pick 4s, even superfectas. Maybe even the 9 sneaks in there with that early speed. Cake's Tap Dancer. This is a fantastic race to kick off another pick 3.
All right, nice maiden special weight there in race 6. Let's get back to stakes action here in race 7. It's a $150,000 Battery Park going a mile and a 16th. We have a few scratches here, only a 3-horse field. The 1 Fearless is out, the 2 Warren is scratched, the 4 Wheelin' Springs is scratched, the 6 Abracadabra is out, and the 8 Awfully Cool is out. So just Doppelganger, Forewarned, and Riding with Biden. 3 nice horses here in the Battery Park. We have a video here of Actually, let's check out your pick 4. We have a pick 4 that starts here, race 7. Josh, you have a pick 4 ticket. Let's check it out and see how you play it.
Yeah, on the pick 4, I really couldn't decide between the 3 and the 7, even though I'm leaning towards the 3 Doppelganger. So I'm 3-7 in race 7, first leg of the pick 4. I'm 5, 6, 7, 8 in race number 8. Again, that's the race where I could spread a little more, but a lot of these horses are a little interesting to me, like in that particular race, there's the 3-horse and the 5-horse that likes to hang down the lane. I got some steeplechase horses, as mentioned about 15 minutes ago. Race 9, the feature race of the day, I think it runs 5-6, 6-5 all day long. I'm going to try to beat the heavy favorite. Maybe that horse might regress off of such a big race. And the last race of the day, I really think the debut horse should show pace. We'll get to that more in a minute, but 1-2-5. Again, it's not a bad play. It's only $24.
All right, let's take a look here at the $150,000 Battery Park. We have a video of the Grade 1 winner, Doppelganger. Here's his Grade 1 win in the Carter April up at Aqueduct, a real big win here at 17-1. This win made it 3 for 3 since the barn switched to Brittany Russell for this well-bred Into Mischief colt who cost $570,000 a few years ago as a weanling or a yearling. Javion Toledo will ride. Toledo's aboard here in the Grade 1 Carter. This horse is going to be a major factor in the final strides today. 3-horse field, though. You hope you don't see him fall too far back.
Yeah, I think this race, it's between the 3 and 7. It's going to be an interesting jockey's race in the first half mile because, of course, the 5-4 Warren is going to be lurking. I don't think the horse can be 15 lengths behind when there's only 2 other horses in here. I think Jevian Toledo and Paco Lopez, they know what they're doing. I don't think the pace is going to be that quick. And it's interesting, the last race, I kind of gave it a pass. It was a break from April to June. The horse was off slow, and I think Toledo did the right thing in the Metropolitan. I think I'm leaning to the 3 instead of the 7 stand for one reason only. I think this horse has a lot of Grade 1 class versus riding with Biden.
All right, absolutely. All right, so the 3 is the Grade 1 class of the race. The 7 riding with Biden is going to be in front, though, with Paco, and he's going to try to steal it on the front end. He ran a real big race at Parks coming off the brief freshening. He ran a big 92 Beyer speed figure that day. He ran a 100 Beyer speed figure last year as a 4-year-old, and he's already a Grade 3 winner. So riding with Biden's going to be in front here in the Battery Park. It'll be interesting to see what Toledo and Dexter Haddock do as they're chasing riding with Biden around there the first part of the race here.
And you know, Stan, the last time out 4 Warren was 37-1 in the Grade 2 Brooklyn, completely overclassed. I think this is a little bit of easier territory with a lot of scratches out of here. I like what the horse did 4 starts ago, had a 93 Beyer. That was over at Parks. Again, a horse that has raced 12 times. 61 starts with 12 wins. The horse has earned over $1 million. But again, Stan, the horse must sit closer to the pace.
Uriah St. Louis always shows up at a big price in these stake races.
And you know what? He's 8%, and he's having an ROI of $1.51. So don't overlook any of these 3. Yep. It'll be interesting to see what happens at around 342.
I use all 3 on my pick 4 tickets here in race 7. Let's turn the page here. Race 8, we're back on the turf. A nice first level allowance condition, 3 and up, mile and a 16th on the turf. The favorite here, it looks like the 3 Twist and Twirls, 5-2. Let's check out the field here. Grand Motion trains the 3 Twist and Twirl, a 4-year-old by Twirling Candy. Florent Giroux will ride. And the comeback race, the 4-year-old debut at Pimlico, Black Eyed Susan Day, going 9 furlongs. It was 35-1 that day. Had some trouble on the first turn and just ran okay. He's probably capable of better. The Motion Barn, 18% coming back off this kind of layoff. So we'll see how the 3 Twist and Twirl does. Neither one of us picked a 3 on top. I picked a 5 on top here. Prowling Tiger for trainer Arnaud Delacour. Had a squeeze at the start last time, and that kind of threw this colt by Kitten's Joy off his game. He likes to lay closer like he did in that Tampa race, and also he broke his maiden on a turf that had a little give in it down at Laurel in a maiden special weight last year, going 9 furlongs. So I think this is a nice 3-year-old by Kitten's Joy. You get Daniel Centeno. He'll be part of the early pace, so I put the 5 Prowling Tiger on top.
And it's interesting, too, because the trainer and jockey of Delacour and Centeno, they're winning 27% nationwide, Stan. However, here at Delaware Park, they are 0 for 11. I like the 5. I've used them all day long. I took a chance with one of those steeplechase horses, the 6 Shooting the Breeze. Catherine Nielsen doesn't get a lot of chance to race in thoroughbred races. She's clicking at 21%. But the flip side of this horse has not won in over 2 years.
Yeah, 7-year-old by Hard Spun. I use them at the end of my picks. A nice allowance race here, going long on the turf. Race 8 kicks off the final pick 3 of the day. Let's turn the page to the feature, the 86th running of the Grade 2 Delaware Handicap, $500,000 for filly and mares, 3 and up, going a mile and a 16th, and it's a different distance this year. Since 1951, it had been run at a mile and a quarter. A little bit of a different distance this year, a little bit longer. It's a classic distance of a mile and 3/16, the same distance of the Preakness. So there's the field, no scratches in the Grade 2 Del Camp. Let's check out a video of Classy Edition, who's 7-2 morning line for trainer Todd Pletcher. This 4-year-old filly by Classic Empire ran a real big race. She's in front, turning for home here in the Critical Eye, late May up at Belmont, and she wins by 2 1/4 with a big 96 Beyer speed figure. So this is a nice 4-year-old filly that's going to be part of the early pace here in the Del Cap. She might be right there in a winning spot, turning for home, trying to steal it.
You know, it's interesting, too, because Dan pointed out how we've changed from a mile and a quarter to a mile and 3/16. It's 110 yards shorter, but 5 Classy Edition has only had 1 race at a mile and 8 that I've seen over the last 8 past performances. I love this horse all day long, along with the 6 morning matchup. Stan, my question to you is, this horse has the class, but is this going to be too far with another extra 110 yards, because the horse has had a mile and 8 5 starts ago and gets a mile and 3/16 today?
All right, well, the 7-5 favorite here is the 3 Idiomatic. Neither one of us picked this filly on top. She's a well-bred, homebred for Juddmonte Farm and Brad Cox. She's by Curlin. She's never been worse than 3rd. She had a big 2nd against Grade 2 in the Ruffian at Belmont, and then a real big win in the Grade 3 Shawnee with a 102 Beyer speed figure at Churchill. Florent Giroux in town to ride, so she's going to be part of the early pace, but she's going to have plenty of company. The 1 Royal Take Charge, the 2 Battle Bling, the 5 Classy Edition, the 4 Game Stocks might press the pace as well. So Florent's not going to have an easy time early on here with the favorite Idiomatic.
No, the horse has had 8 starts with 5 wins, Stan, and if you're looking at Beyer speed figures, ran a 102. The closest before was 93 starts ago. Some handicappers think it's the bounce theory. On my handicapping skills alone, I'm going to try to beat the 3. And I remember we were talking about you doing an interview with Robert Reed. It was a great interview, because the 6 morning matchup, I think, is going to be right there if things start to unfold.
All right, absolutely. And this morning, courtesy of Dave Johnson and Bill Finley's radio show, they gave me some Thorograph numbers here for the Del Cap. I handicap with Beyers and DRF formulator and time form numbers. Here's Morning Matcha. She's your second choice at 5-2. Here's Morning Matcha in the OB. It just gets beat a nose behind the loose horse up front. Award Wanted was wire to wire this day. Morning Matcha just runs out of ground. She's coming at the end, just gets beat a nose. So it looks like she'll appreciate the stretch out to a mile and 3/16 today. This will be the first Del Cap for trainer Butch Reed, a 66-year-old trainer from New Jersey. This filly by Central Banker, she was bred by Crane Thoroughbred Services, 74 miles from Delaware in Lebanon County, Pennsylvania. Butch Reed, he's trying for the rare Oaks Del Cap double. He won the Oaks last Saturday with Foggy Night, and he's trying for the rare Oaks Del Cap double. Todd Pletcher did it in 2006. Jerry Hollendorfer did it in 2017 when he won with It's Tis Well in the Oaks, and then Songbird in the Del Cap. And then Paco Lopez, he was on Foggy Night last Saturday, so he's trying for the rare jockey double for the Oaks Del Cap. There's been 4 jockeys that have done it. John Velasquez in 1977, Eddie Maple in 76, John Rotz in 1969, and William Hartack did it back in 1957.
It's a long list of a lot of good names, and I'm so glad Stan showed that replay, because that race on May 27th, the thing I keep going back to Stan's interview was, opening week here, the track was so tiring. Right. And even the trainer said, I wanted to race over the track, so that's why I love 5-6-6-5 all day long, trying to beat the 3. Maybe that's the trifecta play in the biggest race of the year for Delaware Park.
The Thorograph numbers that Finley and Dave Johnson gave me, the 1 Royal Take Charge is a nice filly by Will Take Charge for Al Stahl. She's going in the right direction. That was a big second-level allowance win at Churchill last out. She got a 3 on the Thorograph sheet for that win. So the 1 Royal Take Charge is a real nice filly. The 3, the favorite Idiomatic, got a 3 Thorograph number with her winning the Grade 3 Shawnee. My top pick, who you like as well, Morning Matcha, got a 0 on the Thorograph sheet. Got a 0 with that win in the unique Bella 2-back.
And if you're not used to Thorograph, the lower the number, the better the result, unlike the Beyer speed figure or the Equibase speed figure in our published programs. Bottom line, Stan, this is going to be up for grabs the top of the stretch, and they better look back because I think the 6 is going to be right there, close right behind on the stretch run here in the Delaware Handicap.
All right, so some top jockeys here in the Del Cap. Florent Giroux on the favorite, Paco Lopez, Kendrick Carmouche in town. Angel Cruz won this race last year, right?
He did indeed, and that's who's on the front of our on-track programs, as a matter of fact.
Yep, and he's on the 2 Battle Bling. So a nice addition, some top filly and mares, some of the best filly and mares in the country right here today in the Grade 2 Del Cap. Let's check out the finale real quick. Race 10's a nice maiden special weight going 5.5 on the main track for filly and mares. Scratch the 6, Aldari. Still a nice 5-horse field here in race 10. I have the 4 on top. Mo Traffic was 5-2 in debut down there at Tampa. Maiden 16. I'll use a good second. 56 Beyer speed figure, a race she can build on and improve on. She was claimed that day, so she was a well-touted horse for sure. Diane Marie, she claimed her that day. She's been working here at Delaware, a bullet workout June 25th here at Delaware. Mike Sanchez in the saddle, so I go with the 4, Mo Traffic on top here in race 10.
Yeah, this is one of those races where, Stan, I think I might have overlooked the 4 because he just pointed out there's been 2 good workouts. The Tampa line was good. Horse was 5-2 that day. I took a chance on the $5 up. This horse has been at the fairgrounds, and then Keeneland wasn't disgraced in any one of the runs. Clearly hated Parks. Finished 7 lengths down, 4th place that day at odds of 5-2. It's a short layoff there. But you know what? Paco Lopez has only had 8 mounts at this track. He's won 4. He's already riding at 50%. I like the 4. The more Stan talked about it, I put the 5 on top.
All right, some well-bred fillies in here. Stidham has the well-bred filly in here by Frosted making her first start. Jimmy Toner coming from Fair Hill has a nice filly by Lord Nelson. The 2 right up front with Daniel Centeno. So some well-bred fillies here in race 10. A nice maiden special weight to conclude our Del Cap day.
And that 1 horse, I Smoke, based on pedigree, should show some pace. So if the horses don't get out, the 1 should be gunning from the inside. It's an interesting last race to wrap up the card on a long day here, but Stan, it's our biggest day of the year, and Stan will be in the paddock all day long, and of course I know you will have some excellent interviews as always.
Hopefully Dan Illman's going to join me for race 5, the Dashing Beauty, to help me handicap that race in the paddock, and then we hope to have the winning connections in the paddock after they win the stake races today. So thanks for tuning in. We hope we gave you some useful information and some winners. Let's check out the main track in the turf course today for our Grade 2 Del Cap day. The main track is fast, the turf is soft. Beautiful shot there by our camera guy. Thanks to the whole TV crew for helping us put this show together. Great TV crew, best in the country. Good show. Thanks for doing it with me, and looking forward to another big day. Handle last Saturday was up for the Oaks Day. We're on the turf today. 4 turf races, 10 races, so I'm hoping to handle up once again today.
Yeah, with those big turf fields coming up too, I think we're going to get some great pools. Hopefully the projection is $3.5 million. There's a lot of other tracks running today, so we'll do our best to stay off of other tracks, but it is the marquee race and day of the year, and of course, Stan, I'll let you wrap it up.
All right, good luck today. We're 26 minutes out for race 1 that kicks off the early pick 5. Good luck.